My grandfather once refused a gift in front of me, and the way he did it taught me more about human beings than any book I ever opened. We were at a gathering, and a certain man, a man of means and reputation, offered my grandfather something generous, unasked, in front of others, with warmth all over his face. And my grandfather thanked him kindly, with real courtesy, and did not take it. And walking home, I asked him why, because I was young, and to the young a gift is a gift, and refusing one is madness. And he walked a while, and then he said, "Grandson, you looked at the gift." I looked at the string, and I said, "What string?" I saw no string. And he said, "Exactly. The string on that kind of gift is spun so fine you cannot see it in daylight. You only feel it later when it pulls." Tonight I want to talk about the strings, because you have been raised, all of us were raised, to believe that accepting is gracious and refusing is rude, that a favor is a kindness, that help is help, and mostly, hear me, mostly that is true. Most favors in this world are clean, most givers are good. And woven in among the clean favors, offered by hands that may not even know what they are doing, are another kind. Favors that are not gifts, but transactions with the price hidden. Favors that arrive as kindness and mature into obligation. Favors spun so fine you cannot see the string in daylight, and you only feel it later when it pulls, and by then, my friend, by then the favor has a new name. The old people called things by their true names, so tonight we will too. A favor you cannot escape is a chain. And tonight I am going to show you the 5 favors that turn into chains, how to see the string in daylight, how to refuse with courtesy the way my grandfather refused, and for those of you already wearing chains you accepted years ago, how the old way says you get free. Look down as we go. Some of you are going to recognize what is on your wrists. The first favor that turns into a chain is the rescue you did not ask for. Mark the shape of this one carefully, because its whole power is in that word, unasked. Somebody helps you, arrives, steps in, handles it, and you never requested it. The relative who paid for something before you could object. The friend who fixed the situation you were managing fine. The neighbor, the sister, the grown child who did you the large unrequested kindness. And it feels wrong to be anything but grateful, so you are grateful and the thing is done and cannot be undone, and now hear what has actually happened, because the old people saw it clearly. An account has been opened in your name without your signature. Unasked favors are unilateral debts. You never agreed to the loan, but the lender has recorded it, and the repayment schedule is theirs to set, and it never comes due at a convenient hour. It comes due the day they need something you would have refused. It comes due in an argument after everything I have done for you. It comes due as a lien against your no, because how can you decline them? Remember what they did? You never asked them to do it, but the debt collects all the same. My grandmother had a rule about this that sounded harsh to me as a boy and sounds like wisdom now. She said, "When the large unasked favor arrives, do not simply swallow it. Acknowledge it and settle it. Name it out loud, this was generous and I did not ask for it, and then, as quickly as you can, balance the account. Repay in kind, in some real form, at some real cost, promptly, and let the ledger touch zero. Because a settled favor is a kindness remembered. An unsettled one is a claim, waiting. The rescuers who resist your settling, notice them. The ones who say, "Oh no, don't be silly, you don't owe me anything," while carefully keeping the account open, those are the ones my grandfather saw the string on. Clean givers let you balance the ledger. Chain makers need it forever open, forever in their favor, because the open ledger, my friend, is the chain. I watched this chain forged onto a widow once, link by link, and her story will show you the mechanism in motion. Her husband died, and in the raw first months, a certain relative swept in, handled everything. The paperwork, the repairs, the yard, the accounts. Unasked, all of it unasked. She was drowning and had no strength to direct anything, and the relative directed everything, and everyone praised him. What a blessing that man is to her. And he was helpful. Hear me. The help was real. But she told me later that even in the fog of that first year, something in her flinched each time she tried to repay him, to settle any piece of it, and he waved her off every time with the same warm words. Family doesn't keep score. And it took her 3 years to understand that this was not true. Family doesn't keep score was the sentence he said while keeping the score. Because when the fog lifted and she began to stand, when she wanted to sell the house he had advised keeping, to manage the money he had been managing, to make at last her own choices with her own life, the account was presented. Not as an invoice. Chains are never presented as invoices. It came as wounded astonishment. After everything I have done. As the family chorus, gently conducted by him, she owes that man so much, how can she push him aside? Every unasked, unsettled favor of 3 years stood between her and her own front door. And her freedom, when she won it, and she did win it, cost her a season of being called ungrateful by people who had watched him build the debt. She said to me afterward the sentence I want you to keep. She said, I finally understood. He was never once helping me stand. He was building the thing I would have to push through to stand. That is the unasked rescue at full term, my friend. Accept help in your storms, yes. Humans need each other in storms. But settle as you go. Insist on settling, even in grief, even in fog, and watch like a hawk the ones who will not let you. Before I share the next teaching, I need to tell you something. I am not going to be here forever, and most of what I know was never written anywhere. So I sat down, and I wrote it. All of it. 20 teachings, 4 parts, in the order they were meant to be received. The ones about seeing the string in daylight, the ones about staying free while staying kind, the ones I have never said on camera. It is called The Native Way, and it costs less than 1 dinner you will not remember. Scan the code on your screen or look in the comments, but do not leave yet, because the second favor on this list is the one most of you accepted decades ago from family, and some of you have been wearing it so long you have stopped feeling the weight. The second favor that turns into a chain is the help that is designed to be needed forever. There is help that builds you and help that holds you, and they look identical at the door. The help that builds you arrives, does its work, and aims at its own retirement, teaches you, strengthens you, hands you the tools, and celebrates the day you no longer need it. That is clean help, the kind my people honored, the kind a true parent gives a child whose whole purpose is to make itself unnecessary. But there is another kind, and here its shape. The help that returns and somehow never leaves you stronger. The relative who manages the thing for you but never shows you how. The one who handles your affairs, your repairs, your papers, your rides in a way that keeps the knowledge always in their hands and never in yours. The helper who seems, if you watch closely, faintly displeased on the day you manage alone, who reappears with fresh assistance the moment you begin to stand, and you have felt this and never named it, the strange guilt of improving, the sense that your growing strength is somehow a betrayal of them. Name it tonight. Some help is a service and some help is a leash, and the leash holders are not always villains, hear me. Many of them are frightened people who learned long ago that being needed is the only way they are certain of being kept. But understanding the chain does not oblige you to wear it. The old test is one question. Does this help aim at my strength or at my need? Help aimed at your strength teaches, transfers, and steps back. Help aimed at your need serves, withholds, and steps closer. And the way of freedom, with love, is to start asking the helper to teach instead of do. Show me how you did that. Walk me through the papers. Sit with me while I make the call myself. The clean helpers will light up. Teaching is a joy to them. The chain holders will resist. It's easier if I just do it. And in their resistance, you will finally see in daylight the string. The third favor that turns into a chain is the generosity that buys your silence. This one is the quietest chain and the most common at family tables, so lean in. There is a law of the human heart that the old people knew and used honorably, the law that receiving softens the tongue. It is hard to speak hard truth to a hand that feeds you. It is nearly impossible to confront someone whose gifts are all over your life, and most people obey this law without ever once seeing it operate on them. But some givers, some, know the law very well, and their generosity is not generosity, it is fencing, built around themselves, gift by gift, favor by favor, so that everyone near them is too indebted to speak. You know if there is such a person in your circle, the one who is lavish and cannot be criticized, the one whose behavior everyone privately struggles with and publicly excuses, because the gifts, because the help, because after all they have done. Their giving has purchased a perimeter of silence, and every person who accepts the next favor renews the fence. And hear me, this is why certain families cannot address certain behaviors for 40 years. The worst behaving member is often the most generous one, and that is not coincidence, that is architecture. And what does the old way teach? Not rudeness, not refusing every kindness from a difficult person. It teaches this: never accept from any hand more than your truth can afford. Before you take the large favor, the money, the standing arrangement, ask yourself the grandmother question. If I needed to tell this person a hard truth next month, would this gift make it harder? If the answer is yes, the gift is not a gift at your price. It is a purchase, and the thing being purchased is your voice, and your voice, at this age, after everything it cost you to finally find it, is not for sale at any price. Keep your truth solvent, my friend. Take less from certain hands, so you can always afford to speak. The fourth favor that turns into a chain is the secret handed to you as an honor. Watch how this one arrives, because it arrives flattering. Someone draws you close, lowers their voice, and gives you a confidence. I am only telling you this. You are the only one who knows. And it feels, in the moment, like intimacy, like being chosen. And sometimes, with clean hearts, it is exactly that. The sacred trust between true friends that I have taught you to honor. But there is another kind of secret giving, and your stomach already knows the difference. The secret that involves you in something. The confidence that, once you hold it, makes you a keeper of someone else's wrongdoing. A silent partner in a deception you never chose. Aware of the thing the family does not know, the spouse does not know. And now your silence is no longer neutral. It is participation, and the giver knew it would be. They did not hand you a confidence. They handed you complicity, wrapped as trust. And from that day, they own a piece of your integrity, because you can no longer speak without becoming the betrayer, and you cannot stay silent without becoming the accomplice. And either way, notice how the chain works. Either way, you are now bound to them, managing their secret, guarding their fence, carrying weight that was never yours. The old people were fierce about this one. A secret, my grandmother said, is a sacred load. And like every load, you are allowed to see it before you agree to carry it. So learn the sentence that protects you and teach it to your grandchildren, because the chain makers start young. The sentence is, wait. Before you tell me what kind of secret this is, because if it is the kind I would have to carry against people I love, I do not want it. That sentence, spoken before the secret lands, will mark you, among the chain makers, as a person who saw the string in daylight. They will find another keeper. Let them. Your integrity was never furniture for other people's hiding places. And the fifth favor that turns into a chain, the deepest one, is the identity of the favored. This is the chain worn longest, so hear it with your whole attention. In certain relationships, in certain families, a person is given, early, a special position. The favorite, the chosen one, the one the difficult parent approved of, the one the powerful relative smiled upon, the good one, the golden one. And it is handed to them as pure favor, as love itself. And here is what nobody tells the favored. The position has terms. It always had terms. The approval that felt like a gift was a wage, and the work, though nobody ever wrote it down, was compliance. Agree and remain golden. Perform and remain chosen. Never disappoint, never dissent. Never become fully yourself in any direction the giver dislikes, or feel, instantly, the warmth begin to withdraw. And there it is, the pull of the finest string ever spun. People wear this chain for 60 years, grown men still governing their choices by a long-dead father's approval. Grown women still performing for a mother's favor, still unable to make the move, say the truth, live the life that would cost them the golden position, even when the giver of the position is gone. Hear that. Even from the grave, the wage can keep being paid, and the work can keep being done. If this is your chain, and some of you went very quiet just now, hear the old way's word to you. Favor with terms was never love. Love has no terms. That is the entire difference, and the approval you have been working for all your life, at the price of your own true shape, was employment. And you are allowed to retire. You are allowed, at 60, at 70, at 80, to lay down the golden position and become, at last, the unemployed and unowned person the Creator actually made. And I will tell you what my grandmother told a woman who wept at her fire over exactly this. She said, "Child, the ones who truly love you will still be there when you stop performing. That is how you will finally know which ones they were." And the woman said, "And what if some leave?" And my grandmother said, "Then they were never with you. They were with the performance. Let them go find it somewhere else. You are done being a show." So there are the 5 favors. The unasked rescue with the open ledger. The help designed to be needed. The generosity that buys silence. The secret that makes you an accomplice. And the favored position with its hidden terms. And now, the freeing, because I promised it, and because some of you are wearing chains accepted 20 and 40 years ago. Hear the good news first. A chain of this kind has one strange property. It is held on by agreement. There is no iron in it. It is spun entirely of your continued consent, your guilt, your silence, your performing, and this means the freeing does not require battle. It requires only the quiet withdrawal of consent. And expect, when you withdraw it, a season of noise. The chain holders will call your freedom coldness, your settling of ledgers an insult, your retirement from the golden position a change for the worse, and the noise is not a sign you are doing it wrong. The noise is the sound a chain makes when it is being taken off. It passes. Settle the old ledgers, deliberately, even now, even late. Repay what can be repaid, and declare the rest settled out loud. Ask the leash-holding helpers to teach instead of do, and hold gently through their resistance. Begin affording your truth again, even toward the generous, especially toward the generous. Set down the secrets that were never yours, in whatever way wisdom and counsel show you, and retire formally in your own heart from every position whose wage was your compliance. Do it kindly. Do it without war.
The old way never needed war for this. And do it soon, my friend, because you did not come this far, through everything you have carried and survived and become, to spend your last free years on a leash spun so fine that the whole world calls it kindness. My grandfather saw the string in daylight and walked home light. Tonight, at last, so can you. If what you heard today stayed with you, the book is there. The Native Way. 20 teachings, 100 pages, written the way I would speak to you if we were sitting together. Scan the QR code on the screen with your phone or find the link in the comments. Read one chapter. Sit with it. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which of the 5 chains did you recognize, and how long have you been wearing it? I read every comment. And if this is the kind of conversation you have been looking for, subscribe to this channel. We are not collecting viewers here. We are collecting people who remember. Come back next week. I am not done teaching yet.